What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Amari, Lee, and Delia had managed to shake off their Yoma transformations without external help, keeping their phantom powers intact, something Velgrren found acceptable. Lastly, Pulsanella's Yoma core had been wiped out, seemingly stripping him of his powers, but something seemed off about him.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. The loathsome seal suppressing my powers has been lifted.
He had fully embraced his Yoma abilities, and they were visibly manifesting. His skin had taken on a light blue hue, his eyes emitted a crimson glow, and unlike other low-level phantoms, he sported wings resembling an angel's. The Yoma gear he had possessed transformed into the ancient holy robes he now wore, an exceptional garment befitting the legend class. The spear he had taken from Delia had also transformed into a kakara, a staff crowned with a set of metal rings. The weapon acknowledged Pulsanella as its wielder, and though he lacked the magicules to fully unleash its powers, he felt a doubling of his magical energy. Pulsanella now felt like he had reached the pinnacle of his existence. However, his arrogance had swelled with his newfound strength, genuinely believing that no one could challenge him. Velgrren found it almost insulting. Is he truly this foolish? She wondered, but she chose not to intervene, considering herself an inexhaustible source of power. Unaware of Velgrren's thoughts, Pulsanella burst into laughter.
This sensation is truly exhilarating. With this power, I might even surpass Lord Corner himself.
In that moment, he felt omnipotent. His powers had indeed ascended to the level of an awakened demon lord, and he believed he had transcended all previous limitations. However, he was using a very narrow yardstick for his measurements.
Forget it. He's at least 10 times more powerful. It wouldn't even be a contest.
His foolish mistake prompted Velgrren to interject. Pulsanella, the target of her derision, seethed with anger.
Well,
he commented.
It's unfortunate that some folks here seem a bit clueless about how the world works.
Others in the room silently thought he should take his own advice. At this moment, Velgrren sensed that Pulsanella was directing his comments at her, though she couldn't fathom why. His demeanor suggested he believed he could defeat her, but she couldn't grasp the basis for his confidence. Given her long association with the Yoma, it seemed implausible that someone among them wouldn't recognize her. While it might be conceivable among the lowest-tier phantoms, a high-ranking one, especially a former angel linked to the three phantom leaders, should have been trembling with fear at the mere mention of her name. It was a natural response when facing the mightiest of true dragons. Yet Pulsanella's response exuded unnatural confidence, causing Velgrren to pause. She wondered if she had made some mistake.
I must admit I'm intrigued. Your tone was quite impolite. When you said fool just now, you weren't referring to me, were you?
After her extensive journey, Velgrren had surprisingly developed patience. She might describe herself as an elegant, sympathetic woman. Even if not entirely accurate, she had certainly cultivated a more composed side compared to her previous self. Hence, she posed that question instead of reacting with anger. However, Pulsanella took it as an invitation to continue his tirade.
Don't you see? While you may possess some strength, you should really refrain from being so conceited. There exists a broader world beyond this one.
He truly has no idea.
It suddenly dawned on Velgrren. Pulsanella had conquered his Yoma nature and was now acting independently. Simultaneously, she pitied him. Amari Masahiko had succumbed to possession but had used the experience to acquire extensive knowledge of Yoma. In contrast, this man pursued nothing but power.
That's why he's grown so arrogantly ignorant. He's missing the most fundamental knowledge.
Realizing this left her more exasperated than furious. She turned to Tensei and the others, paying no heed to Pulsanella as he continued his oration.
What do you believe is the best course of action for dealing with this man? I shattered his Yoma core, yet his power remains intact. At this rate, even I might struggle to contain him fully.
When she mentioned dealing this, what she really meant was taking away his powers. But Pulsanella misunderstood her intentions.
Well, it's a bit late for you to have second thoughts now, isn't it?
He took her words as a sign of her weakness, believing that things would always work out in his favor, no matter the situation.
If you admit defeat, maybe I'll be generous and let you serve me. You'll learn to appreciate my mercy once you become my subordinate.
Velgrren interrupted him with a sharp slap, leaving Pulsanella speechless. In that moment, he realized that his plans were not going as he had hoped. Am I making a big mistake? He thought, desperately trying to recall information from his memories. But there was nothing. When Velgrren had destroyed his Yoma core earlier, all the associated memories had vanished. Pulsanella felt an overwhelming sense of foreboding for reasons he couldn't understand. Ignoring him, Velgrren turned her attention back to Tensei.
If I spare this man's life, he could be a threat to all of you. I'm tempted to get rid of him. But what do you think?
Whether Pulsanella lived or died didn't matter much to her. However, she couldn't leave him in this state, regardless of her decision. As long as Akira Sakura was alive and Velgrren was protecting him, things might be manageable. But once Akira Sakura was gone, Velgrren would quickly leave to pursue Rudra's next soul fragment, no longer caring about the fate of this world. And then, no one would be able to control Pulsanella. But Velgrren knew that Rudra's reincarnations appeared in this world periodically, through a specific bloodline. Allowing Pulsanella to roam freely on this planet was not in her best interest. No one, including Tensei, could stop him. That was clear to everyone. That's why eliminating him here and now was the most practical solution for everyone involved.
You're right, but
there was no one present from Great Rosium. Killing one of the Empire's greatest heroes would undoubtedly create tension. Everyone understood that it was the right decision, but nobody felt particularly enthusiastic about it. Velgrren was aware of this, which is why she sought additional opinions. She wasn't sparing Pulsanella out of kindness. She simply believed that killing him immediately could cause significant problems for Akira Sakura in the future. She left the decision in the hands of the others, well aware of the challenges that arose from their diverse national backgrounds. Velgrren was prepared to accept whatever they collectively agreed upon. Amari, especially, understood the seriousness of the situation, as did the rest of the group, which encouraged them to express their opinions freely.
I believe we have no choice but to execute him.
Amari suggested.
We can argue that I acted under the influence of my Yohma. If Great Rosiam demands my custody, you can hand me over without hesitation.
No, I agree that we must get rid of him.
A cautious Tensei replied.
But there is no need for you to sacrifice yourself. We can present the full story and try to persuade them.
He's right.
David chimed in.
If reasoning with them doesn't work, we can apply pressure where necessary. Azalea would be willing to help.
I understand the commander's concern about how our words might be interpreted, but I also agree that execution is the right course of action.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely, or something like that. That's what my grandfather used to say. Pulsanella only has himself to blame for this.
Among the Azaleans, the decision was unanimous, as Billy and Emil's responses indicated. Emil's grandfather, Laurent Hayes, had relied on Velgrren's assistance even for trivial matters, a memory that brought a slight smile to her face. The response from the Chinese territories was more restrained, showing tacit approval. They had suffered invasions from Great Rosium and held no warm feelings towards them, so they refrained from extensive commentary. On the other hand, the Arceans were eager for revenge.
We can shape the narrative however we want later. Let's end his life.
Indeed. That scoundrel pushed Delia down and stole her weapon. I wish I could tear him apart with my bare hands.
I can't say I blame you. I have no reason to object.
Since one of their own had been harmed, they didn't hold back their emotions. Hearing all of this, Pulsanella finally understood the gravity of his situation.
If things continue like this, Velgrren might kill me before I can.
He desperately searched for an escape plan, channeling all his mental and physical energy into this singular objective. Then, as he noticed Velgrren had turned her back, he launched a surprise attack. Any remnants of his pride as a man of the cloth vanished. The rules of chivalry held no weight when confronted with impending death.
Prepare for your demise. Behold the power of my relentless assault.
This was the forbidden divine dispelling light, a spiritualist technique that channeled divine blessings to annihilate evil and its minions. His Yoma abilities amplified its strength, creating an unprecedented surge of energy in this world. The shockwaves alone caused widespread devastation. The ground trembled, and the very air seemed to clash against itself. The Yoma headquarters, once a secure base designed to withstand airstrikes and serve as a nuclear shelter, crumbled under the strain. In less than a second, the space between Pulsanella and Velgrren was obliterated, an instant display of destruction visible to any observer.
I've won. No living being could withstand such force. I am now the ruler of this world. Ha!
As Pulsanella reveled in his triumph, he witnessed the energy take the form of a spear and pierce Velgren's unguarded back. Yet, she remained unharmed. It didn't work. It couldn't have. After all, he was facing Velgrren. An amount of energy capable of obliterating an entire continent had been nullified and dissipated in an instant.
Could you please wait quietly until we find a resolution?
She calmly requested, as if nothing had happened. It was then that Pulsanella understood. He could never defeat Velgrren. Perhaps, if he had given up in that moment, things could have taken a different turn. But dwelling on such possibilities was futile. Pulsanella, refusing to surrender, was on the verge of tapping into something he should never have ventured into.
Well, what can I say? I never expected to encounter someone on this world whom I couldn't conquer. A grave miscalculation. But you still can't lay a finger on me.
Why is that?
Because I'm a meticulous person. I always maintained a virtuous facade to prevent anyone from resenting me. I stopped pretending only when I believed victory was certain. I never anticipated encountering someone like you. But victory is still within my reach. I've taken the necessary precautions.
Could you please stop stalling and give us a summary?
Why the rush? Fine, I'll oblige. The nations of Azalea, Great Rosium, and Arcia have been diligently working on a unique type of explosive device. Although each nation is a different design, they all share one principle. The destructive power of this weapon is what truly matters.
And you plan to use this bomb against me?
No, nothing like that. I believe I can withstand the explosion, and if that's the case, I'm confident you can too.
Oh, then why bring it up?
Don't be so impatient. I understand your eagerness, but...
Pulsanella was deliberately taunting Velgrren now, clearly getting under her skin. She recognized it as a calculated tactic but chose to play along. Pulsanella was the kind of coward who might attempt a surprise attack while they deliberated over his fate. While eliminating him immediately was the right thing to do, she decided to hear him out regardless. Her rationale was simple: to prevent potential future troubles. If he intended to reveal his plan right now, it was only fair for her to listen to the entire scheme. Besides, she was confident that she could handle any trick he might have up his sleeve. With a composed demeanor, Velgrren continued to listen, until Pulsanella disclosed what came next, wiping the smile from her face.
But here's my plan. I'm going to steal these bombs and detonate them over the capitals of each nation. My operatives are already in position. It's too late to intervene now.
It was a bombshell revelation, quite literally.
Are you out of your mind? Such an act would result in countless innocent lives being lost.
Are you kidding me? Eliminating the leadership of all nations would throw the world into chaos.
The fundamental plan of the Yoma was to uplift the human race as their vessels, not annihilate them. What on earth are you thinking?
Pulsanella couldn't help but smile at all the commotion.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible. Havox, Speed Saber, Curtis Loban, Kamal Luke, Mr. Santo, Steven, Moves Joderi, Spencer Candila, Ian Sikibyo, Patat, Thanakorn Lisawat, Gobby Lin, Charles Bailey. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.